Hey YouTube, hi. It's been a couple of days since my last video, and yes, my little dog Lily is here. She was just trying to get down a moment ago. I hope all of you are doing well. Today is Monday. What's that? June 2nd, and I just got home maybe 40 minutes ago. I just came back from the Museum of Natural History on 77th Street in Manhattan, and it was very rewarding. I'm exhausted because I walked there from where I live, and I did a lot of walking in the um, museum, and I specifically went to see um, anything on mankind, this, the beginnings of mankind. And as you know, any of you who watched my prior um, videos on the Lucia skull that was found in South America, that is of a black woman and is different from the uh, people that you see that live in South America now. The Lucia skull is um, over 11,000 years old, and it's the oldest human skull in the Americas. So it just puts a different face on history. And so I just wanted to check out that museum to see if they had anything on people. And I I did. It was something else. Um, I saw they had so many. They had a lot of different artifacts, and one particular exhibit they had like they they had skulls that were, how do you say, um, over 20 something thousand years old. I think it was like could have even been 80,000 years old. And well, yes, 80,000, 100,000 years old. It was found in modern day Israel. And it was something else. I saw these skulls before on a documentary that I saw on over the internet. And it was on human, human evolution, as they call it. And it showed some of the artifacts that they had displayed in Israel, and they showed like they had this skull of they presume it's a woman and a little child. The child was at the feet, and the let's see, the woman was um, lying on her side, her legs were crossed and then folded up to her chest, and her arms, it looked like it was she was posed in that position. And that one could have been like the 100,000 or 80,000, maybe 80,000 years old. And it was a big skull, humongous. It was bigger than modern human beings. And many of these skulls, they have like a heavier brow bone, and the nose passageway, it had a larger cavity. If you remove the nose, there's like a hole behind, and so you can see the nasal cavity, and it's generally bigger, and not as arched. They didn't have like a nose bridge. It's flatter, and the massive. It was just humongous, you know. And they they just it was just totally like wow. You have to see, those of you who are vacationing and going to New York, go take a look at exhibit that they have there with as they call it, human evolution. And when I looked at the, that is the, that those skeletons that were in modern day Israel, so I asked myself, I said, so are these the Canaanites that they talk about in the book of Genesis in the Bible? Who are these people? Where did they come from? And then you had they were called, I think, the was it Neanderthals? No, Homo sapiens. I think it was Homo sapiens, and then you had others that were called Neanderthals, and they were massive too. The bones seemed thicker, and but the limbs a little shorter, but the head was massive. And I just start to wonder, who are these people? And they 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 claim that with Neanderthal, that modern day people, that there's no we're not descendants from them. It said that was just my other little dog jumping around. Sorry about that. He's acting really cute right now. Look at him. See? Hi, Lavin. Yeah, he's my sweetie. He's my bad boy. I am sorry, dear YouTube. But anyway, I asked myself those questions. They said that we are descended from them, and we, that we may not have coexisted at that time, at least in that part of the world. So, who are they? You know, and you had all these other. They found all these other skeletons. A lot of them from in modern day France. You had some in Germany, and they're like 20 something thousand years old. And so if these people aren't our descendants, I mean, if we're not descended from them, where did they come from? You know, and so what does this have to do with, like, let's say, those of you who follow the Bible, you know, um, in the Bible it says that we came on this planet. God formed us 6,000 years ago, and then I'm look. They even had artifacts that was 6,000 years old in another exhibit there, and I would ask myself, so is this time of Adam and Eve? So how do I suppose to internalize this information? How do I suppose to view the Bible? Is something that is, like when this goes, they even had a skull that they said is 500,000 years old, you know, and that was, I think, in Kenya or Ethiopia. Um, so is 500,000 years old then equivalent to, uh, it's really 6,000 years old? How do you equate this information? I mean, that's it's such a big difference, you know. How are the scientists measuring the age of something? Okay, I've heard the term carbon dating, but is carbon dating really accurate? And let's say it's not all that accurate. Still, you got a big gap of age, something 100,000 versus 400,000, etc. Still, it's saying that something is a big difference, a big gap. So how do we suppose to interpret the age of these artifacts and people? So I'm wondering, with the Bible, it like when it says in Genesis, let us make man in our image. So is this something like um, like something else might have been on the planet at the time, but then you had some other entity that was introduced to this planet, and then that was formed. And maybe these are the people who are ruling the planet now, because you have all these indigenous people, as some people will call them. Like you go to modern Africa, some communities that are isolated from um, European people. When you go to South Asia, Southeast Asia, Australia, and you see similarities in all these people. And it's just the European as we know them today, Western Europeans, they don't really look different than everybody else. And they're the ones that seem to have all this, spreading out to different parts of the world and being dominant over these other cultures. So I'm wondering, are these people, these modern day Europeans, okay, oops, my, come on guys, behave. They're throwing, they had knocked over the pillow on the floor. They're acting silly right now. I'm sorry. So I'm wondering, are these people, I lost my train of thought now. Oh, brother. Help me out, YouTube. What was I just saying? I know we're saying something about the Bible and age and with Europeans. Where do Europeans really come from? You know, and if everybody else is basically looks similar, have very similar characteristics, and then this newcomer comes along. So are these people the descendants of those who were created after the indigenous people of this planet? And that's all what you see what's going on now. So let's say if that was true. So how is God going to relate to those people He created 6,000 years ago versus those people who were here 500,000 years ago, 200,000 years ago, 80,000, 20,000 years ago? How is God going to handle that? Are they also part of the redemption plan? If for those of you who are Christians, how do we answer these questions? Who 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 is the Bible including in this need for redemption? These people, these old bones. I mean, are these the Adam and Eve? Who are they? I'm dying to find out these answers. Anyone out there in YouTube who is asking these same questions, and maybe you might have more answers than I do. I just have questions. Please let me know, and let me know what you think or what questions you may have. Again, it's the evolution thing of man at the Museum of Natural History in New York City is it's very thought provoking, and I just wonder what our real history is. So you two, take care and let me know what you think. Bye bye.